Hi, I'm Michael Craig, author of the books The Logical Soul and The Money Matrix Method. Now, you landed on this page for whatever reason, but I welcome you because you're looking for something either to help your business, to start a home business, to do something in your life that's worthwhile, and to make some money, quite frankly. So you're here for that reason, and I want to give you something that's really going to launch that, or hopefully can help you launch that. The first thing I want to ask is, what is your why? Now, the reason this is important, Nietzsche said, with a strong enough why, you can overcome any how. And what that means, obviously, is that if you don't have a motivation to do something, you're not going to achieve much of anything in life. The fact that you are still alive means that you have some motivation, means that you're here, you're listening to this tape, but there are other levels of motivation. And you probably heard the expression about some of these motivation instructors. You got to have a burning desire. You got to have a burning desire to earn money, to make things happen, to be on top of the world, and to earn money. Well, that's true. But what is your burning desire? And what happens if you don't have a burning desire? See, I had this problem many years ago. I didn't have a burning desire. I didn't know how to find one. If you find yourself in this boat, this talk is for you. So I'm going to go over a little bit about how to uncover that why. Now, a good friend of mine, Devon Brown, came up with a very good analogy, and I'm going to use this to sort of sum up what this why is all about. And that is, if you have two buildings, and they're about like 10 stories high, they're skyscrapers. Well, 10 stories high is not really tall, but it's tall enough that if you fall off of one, you're going to do damage to your cranium or your spine or something. You're going to die, pretty much. And there's like 15 feet between these buildings. Now, you're standing here, and forgive my stick figures, I'm not drawing real well today for artistic value, but you got the picture. So you're wanting to go from this building to that building, and the distance is 15 feet, which is quite a leap if you're not athletic. However, most people don't want to jump that just to jump it. It's not something you want to do, especially if your life is in danger. What would motivate you to jump from this building to that building? And Devon was talking to a bunch of people, or a group of people in an audience, and he asked them, what would make you jump from here to here? And would you jump over to this building for $10? How many people would do that? Nobody raised their hand. I mean, risk your life for $10 is not worth it. He asked the question again, how many would jump over here for $10,000? And I think there were like 3 people that raised their hand. He raised the ante. He said, how many would jump this for $10 million? And I think maybe there was 5 or 6 that answered affirmative. But then what happens is you take it to a different level. What if your kid, what if your child were over here and he was being threatened by someone with a gun, and the only way you were going to take that gun away was to jump this distance and knock that gun out and grab your child and save your child? How many would jump there? Most of the people in the room, the ones with kids anyway, said they would jump that 15 feet to save their child. That's the type of motivation I'm talking about. Do you have that kind of motivation? If you don't, chances are you're not going to make the kind of money that I'm talking about really exploding in your business, really making your business take off. There was a psychologist by the name of Abraham Maslow back in the early 1900s. He came up with something called the theory of motivation, or Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I'm going to put up a little graphic here. Hopefully I can edit this in later, which shows you there's a pyramid. And at the base of the pyramid, there's things like breathing, food, water, sex, sleep, homeostasis, secretion, and so forth. The next level is things like security. And as you go on up, there's like friendship, family, sexual intimacy. The 4th level is like self-esteem, confidence, achievement, respect of others, respect by others. And at the very top, Maslow actually invented this term he called self-actualization, which at the very top it means that you're at the level of morality, creativity, spontaneity, problem solving, lack of prejudice, acceptance of facts. What he called self-actualization was the pinnacle of being, where you're just really happy most of the time. So can you ask yourself, are you happy? If you're not, chances are there's a type of motivation that's guiding you. Now really, to boil Maslow's theory down, and I think Devon did this very well, you would jump this 15 feet for love. Because you love your child, you'll do anything to save your child. That's the motivation you have. What I've discovered in my own work is that there's essentially 4 levels of motivation. And that can be fear, it can be rage, addiction, or love. Now obviously the highest is love. But what's your motivation? Now you can make money, by the way, with any of these types of motivation. There was a lady in the early 1900s by the name of Hetty Green. She was worth $95 million. But she didn't spend a dime. In fact, her son lost his leg because she had to spend the extra time taking him to a free clinic, finding a free clinic that wouldn't charge her, because she pinched pennies so hard that the face of Lincoln fell off. But the point is that her motivation was fear and possibly addiction. In fact, a lot of these probably go together. Love stands by itself because that's self-evident. I don't want to get into all these, but the point is, start asking yourself, what is my motivation? What am I doing to make money? What's the reason I want to make money? What's the very good reason that motivates me to make money? I want to thank you for joining me here today. I've got other tapes, and lectures, and information coming, so stay tuned.